the WWE cuts off Rhea Ripley's return. The best and worst of WWE RAW. The WWE announces a former world champion's injury. The WWE's return to Japan while a 7-time WWE champion returns. Rikishi on why he won't replace Paul Heyman as solo Sikoa's Wiseman. Dijak opens up on working with WWE officials backstage. The WWE is aiming to sign a top TNA star whose contract expires in January. Unseen backstage footage of Liv Morgan's reaction to Rhea Ripley's return. What did Dominik Mysterio tell Rhea Ripley immediately after her return? Let's dive right in. The best and worst of WWE RAW. The first episode of WWE RAW after Money in the Bank 2024 had some big moments. Now is the time for them too, as SummerSlam is fast approaching. We saw several new storylines begin, while a few current ones got a real shot in the arm. The biggest may have involved Rhea Ripley, who is finally back. Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and others were also involved in exciting segments. So, let's get into the biggest positives and negatives from tonight's episode of WWE RAW. There was certainly way more good than bad. Number 1, best and worst. What's next for Seth? Seth Rollins had an interesting night on WWE RAW. He isn't the World Heavyweight Champion following the shenanigans involving CM Punk and Drew McIntyre at Money in the Bank. The Visionary wasn't happy at all and interrupted Punk at the start of tonight's show. They had an excellent promo that didn't feel overly scripted, with Rollins getting the better of the Second City Saint. There's just one problem though. This match isn't happening anytime soon, with McIntyre next in line to face CM Punk. Adding Seth Rollins to their feud wouldn't be a wise decision. WWE RAW teased another match for the Architect, with Damian Priest willing to give him another world title shot after SummerSlam. However, where does that leave Rollins now? He needs a program heading into the biggest party of the summer, as it would be a shame if he misses it. Number 2, worst. Be careful, Uso. Jey Uso got the better of Chad Gable on WWE RAW, winning their match after a distraction from the Wyatt Six. The Yeet Master quickly got out of the way once the match ended, but not before having a little bit of fun. From yeeting in the darkness to jokingly hiding under the ring last week, it seems Uso has been seeing the funny side of Uncle Howdy's crew taking over WWE RAW. That needs to stop, even if the Wyatt Six keep on going after Gable. Perhaps the meeting between Adam Pearce and Bo Dallas could force the roster to take them even more seriously. This includes Jey Uso, who could eventually be a target for the Wyatt Six. Number 3, best. A successful rehab for Braun Breaker. After losing to Sami Zayn at Money in the Bank, there were heavy concerns that Braun Breaker would lose his way at all. However, that doesn't seem to be the case following WWE RAW. The second-generation star ran through the Intercontinental Champion with a vicious spear on the outside. Breaker even faced Ilya Dragunov and left him lying, following some great action. All signs point to a triple threat at SummerSlam, which could be where Zayn loses the IC title. Braun Breaker needs to win it, especially after looking like a killer again. Number 4, worst. John Cena versus Karrion Kross? While merely a passing mention, it could turn into something significant. Karrion Kross brought up John Cena's retirement during his promo vignette on Kofi Kingston on tonight's show, suggesting that the 16-time world champion knows his time is almost up. It may have furthered the issue between the New Day and the Final Testament, but Triple H is all about subtly planting seeds. What if this was one of those seeds? With Cena retiring, he only has a limited number of matches left. As a result, Kross shouldn't be among them, considering how many more superstars get better reactions than him on WWE RAW, SmackDown, and even NXT. While things could change in a year, a match between Karrion Kross and John Cena doesn't sound too exciting. Number 5, best. Mommy's back on WWE RAW. Following 3 months away from WWE RAW, Rhea Ripley is back. She returned with a vengeance following the mixed tag team main event, which saw Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio victorious. The two lovebirds were about to kiss in the middle of the ring, with Morgan seemingly winning over Dirty Dom by helping him pin Rey Mysterio. However, Mommy's music hit before they could pull the trigger, which prompted the Women's World Champion to run away through the crowd. Ripley then rejected a hug from Mysterio and walked away from him as WWE RAW ended. This story just hit the next level. The dynamic between Rhea Ripley and Dominik Mysterio will be interesting to follow, as is the Judgment Day's status as a whole. Where does everybody stand? Lots of questions. But for now, we can rejoice over Mommy's big return. The WWE announces a former world champion's injury on Raw. This week on WWE RAW, Michael Cole announced that former world champion Kofi Kingston suffered an AC joint sprain from Karrion Kross's attack last week. Xavier Woods defeated Kross on the Monday Night Show when he rolled him up. After the match, the Final Testament attacked him, and Kingston came to make the save. However, Kross took the former WWE champion out before locking him in an arm submission. This week, Michael Cole noted that Kingston would be out for several weeks as Cross continued to target Xavier Woods. Now, the former King of the Ring will have no backup against Cross and his team. Kingston is no stranger to injuries, and it's unclear if he'll be back on screen next week without wrestling, or if he will be kept off screen until the injury is no longer part of the story. Cross appears to be trying to prove to Woods that he doesn't need the New Day, and that he's being held back. This would be the perfect time to make his point now that New Day isn't around Woods, and he will be forced to defend himself until Kingston is back by his side in a few weeks. The WWE's return to Japan, while a 7-time WWE champion returns. WWE has a series of big events planned for what is shaping up to be the biggest summer in recent years. The latest reports provided interesting updates on several major names, including a top faction and a current champion. World Wrestling Entertainment recently announced its return to Japan. The Triple H-led company will perform at Edion Arena in Osaka on Thursday, July 25th, and then have back-to-back shows at Ryogoku Arena, aka Sumo Hall, on Friday and Saturday. These will be the promotion's first shows in the land of the rising sun since 2019. WWE and Japanese media partner Abema announced today that Logan Paul will not travel to Japan for the event. According to PW Insider, the current United States champion has a prior commitment that will prevent him from working the show, but the WWE Universe is speculating on Paul not wanting to go to Japan due to fallout from the December 2017 incident at a notorious suicide site, even though Paul was never officially banned from the country. Shinsuke Nakamura has also been confirmed for the company's return to his home country despite recent rumors. His last WWE match in Japan came in June 2019. On night 1 of the tour, he was defeated by then Universal Champion Seth Rollins, and on night 2, Nakamura teamed with Triple H to defeat Robert Roode and Samoa Joe. The King of Strong Style has worked around 42 matches in 2024, but only 9 aired on TV or PLE. His last match as of this writing was a loss to WWE champion Cody Rhodes on June 23rd at a non-televised live event in Michigan. The 7-time WWE champion has not had a TV match since the Raw loss to Sheamus on April 22nd. Raw on July 22nd and SmackDown on July 26th will carry the company to the SummerSlam Go-Home editions of both shows. The final Raw before the premium live event is scheduled for July 29th in St. Paul, MN, and the last SmackDown before the PLE is set for August 2nd in Cleveland. World Wrestling Entertainment currently has the July 22nd Raw scheduled for Green Bay, but there is no listing for the July 26th SmackDown. However, the company will be in Japan that week, running the Edion Arena in Osaka on Thursday, July 25th, and then Sumo Hall in Tokyo on Friday, July 26th. The Friday show is not currently advertised as a SmackDown taping. 2 homegrown stars were just pulled from the big Japanese tour earlier today. Officials and media partner Abema have also announced the following blue brand superstars for the tour, which indicates they could be missing SmackDown that week: Cody Rhodes, Bayley, The Bloodline, members not specified, Tiffany Stratton, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, LA Knight, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill. The following Raw superstars are also advertised for the return to Japan: Damian Priest, Liv Morgan, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Dominik Mysterio, Jey Uso, Rey Mysterio, The New Day, Kairi Sane, Guy, and Gunther. Rikishi on why he won't replace Paul Heyman as Solo Sikoa's Wiseman. There has been a lot of change in the bloodline recently, thanks to Solo Sikoa. He introduced Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu to the group, before kicking out Paul Heyman. However, this has left the dangerous group without a Wiseman. Heyman will likely return alongside Roman Reigns, who is expected to reform his own bloodline when he's back. As a result, many have pointed at Solo's father, Rikishi, as the 2024 WWE Hall of Famer's replacement. Also, Jimmy and Jey Uso's father, the Attitude Era legend, addressed those claims. Rikishi mentioned how Solo Sikoa's bloodline needs a new Wiseman and revealed that he'd be interested in the role, but there's an issue. Speaking on his podcast Rikishi Fatu Off the Top, the WWE Hall of Famer revealed he does not want to go on the road. That would be a requirement for a regular on-screen role in WWE. Rikishi spoke about his life away from wrestling, including spending time with his family. People ask, would I be interested in returning as the Wiseman? Yeah, I guess. It makes sense. Is the scheduling going to be a problem? Because I don't want to hit the road, and that would probably be the only reason why I would probably decline. There's so much to my life now than professional wrestling. My time is my time now. The second part of my life is to spend time to visit my kids, my grandkids, and it's nice when I show up to the boys' homes. said Rikishi. While laying out both sides of the bloodline, Rikishi suggested who he thinks will join Roman Reigns and the Usos to battle Solo Sikoa's stable. He hasn't been on WWE television in over 5 years. While Rikishi went further into the future while speaking about the Bloodline saga, Solo Sikoa could be set for the biggest match of his career. The new tribal chief pinned Cody Rhodes in their 6-man tag team match at Money in the Bank, which presumably earns him a world title shot. Expect Solo Sikoa to challenge the American Nightmare for the undisputed WWE Championship at SummerSlam. While he may not win the title, this is a huge opportunity for Solo to prove how good he is in the ring. Dijak opens up on working with WWE officials backstage. Former WWE star Dijak recently spoke about his experience working with officials and executives in NXT. The star worked with the company for 7 years. Dijak is one of the latest stars to part ways with WWE. His contract expired on June 28th, 2024. A day earlier, he penned a heartfelt letter and shared it on social media. The letter detailed how his contract was not being renewed. The 37-year-old star reflected on his time with the company and claimed this was an opportunity to prove himself again. During an exclusive interview with Sportskeeda Wrestling, Dijak mentioned that he was never hands-on with the creative direction. He felt that as long as he was a regular on TV, creative storylines would take care of itself. However, the star was involved with the overall look and style of the character, which was also applauded by higher-ups in the company. I never made suggestions for direction in NXT. I always felt that as long as I was being featured consistently on TV, then the booking direction would take care of itself. In terms of the presentation, I would often have a hand in sculpting the look, style, and verbiage of the character. It was always well received from what I could tell. Dijak is now one of the hottest free agents in the independent circuit. He already has several bookings in place and was also spotted backstage during AEW Forbidden Door. The WWE is aiming to sign a top TNA star whose contract expires in January. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and everyone in WWE involved in recruiting might be licking their lips at a potential major signing from TNA. A new report has provided contract details that have indicated possible interest from the sports entertainment juggernaut. The star in question is none other than TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordynne Grace, who has made multiple WWE appearances. Most notably, she was in a champion versus champion match at NXT Battleground, where she faced NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez in a losing effort. Tatum Paxley would make an appearance on TNA's Against All Odds show, where Grace beat her in an open challenge. There seems to be a lot of love for Jordynne Grace within WWE, with Shawn Michaels praising her. Even Triple H praised her on X-Twitter, something that left the TNA star surprised. Shawn went as far as to say that he was jealous that Triple H got Jordynne for the Royal Rumble, and that he was owed, which was likely the precursor to her brief NXT run. Fightful Select reported that while Jordynne Grace initially signed a contract with TNA until the summer of 2025, it had been adjusted and reduced until January. Aware of this, WWE is reportedly interested once her contract expires, and she has impressed people within the company so far. The WWE TNA crossover has been nothing short of surreal, with this being another version of the Forbidden Door. Unsurprisingly, many top stars in the sports entertainment juggernaut want to take part in the action. Women's champion Bayley revealed to Cultaholic that she texted Triple H and Shawn Michaels as soon as she saw Jordynne Grace in NXT, asking to be involved in a future collaboration with TNA. It really didn't hit me that it was possible until I saw Jordynne Grace come out on NXT. And immediately, text hunter Triple H text Shawn and I wanted to be at the show. I'm like, you know what? I would love to be in the front row for this. It's a historic match. And just to kind of get my face out there like, hey, I'm watching, I'm the champion. Can you consider me if we ever do these, something with TNA? I would love to do that just because it's different. Bayley versus Jordynne Grace would be a huge matchup. It will be interesting to see if this happens in the near future or not. Unseen backstage footage of Liv Morgan's reaction to Rhea Ripley's return. Rhea Ripley made an unexpected return to WWE during this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. She showed up after Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio's match in the main event of the show. The Eradicator was taken out of action by the current Women's World Champion during a backstage attack on an episode of Raw a number of weeks ago. She was forced to relinquish her title due to an injury she sustained. During Rhea Ripley's absence, her on-screen boyfriend Dominik Mysterio helped Liv Morgan win and retain the Women's World title, inadvertently, on multiple occasions. She started seducing him in order to complete her revenge tour, as she wanted to take Dirty Dom away from Mommy. On the latest episode of Raw, Liv and ex-con Dom faced the LWO's Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega in a mixed tag team match. The champion distracted the referee during the bout and helped Dominik get the pinfall. After they emerged victorious, the duo celebrated in the ring by getting intimate. Rhea Ripley then came out, and a shocked Liv Morgan escaped through the crowd. After the show, WWE shared a clip on X of Liv Morgan peeping at Rhea and Dom through the curtain backstage. She then smiled at the end, showing that she got what she wanted, as Mommy is now mad at Dominik. What did Dominik Mysterio tell Rhea Ripley immediately after her return? Ripley has been gone from the company for the past 4 months after she was injured after WrestleMania. The star was hurt by Liv Morgan, who promised to take everything from her. Rhea had to vacate her title, but that was not all Morgan was after. She pursued Dominik, who helped her inadvertently win the Women's World Championship. The two have been flirting, with Mysterio getting close to Morgan despite his protests. The star walked out to the ring while Liv Morgan ran away. Rhea confronted Dominik and walked out. Dominik followed, protesting the whole way, and had something to say to the furious Rhea Ripley that made her even angrier. "I swear, it's not what you think. I've been trying to fix things since you were gone," Dominik said. WWE has taken a massive shot at Liv Morgan with a brand new t-shirt following Rhea Ripley's return. The Nightmare has responded to it as well. Shortly after the show went off the air, WWE's official shop shared a link to Rhea Ripley's brand new t-shirt. The apparel in question takes a massive shot at Liv Morgan. Ripley seemed quite pleased with the same. The new t-shirt takes a shot at Liv Morgan's popular Revenge Tour apparel. The words Liv Morgan have been crossed, and the terms Revenge Tour have been replaced with Brutality Tour. It finally happened tonight on Raw, and Ripley was livid at Dom Dom. Next week's edition of Raw will be a must-watch show after the events of tonight's episode. The WWE cuts off Rhea Ripley's return. Rhea Ripley recently made a major change to her ex-Twitter profile after her massive return on the latest episode of Raw. Mommy's ex profile now features a display picture of Liv Morgan's reaction to her return. Ripley is quite possibly the most over-female star in all of WWE. Ripley could not get her hands on Liv tonight, but the two women are bound to collide soon. Liv has the Women's World Championship that Ripley never lost, and Mommy would want nothing but to take it back from her as soon as possible. Fans could expect to see both women go one-on-one at the SummerSlam 2024 Premium Live event. Rhea then confronted Dominik, who went to hug her. She blocked the hug and left. As it turns out, that's when WWE's feed was cut off on USA Network. Thus, a crucial part of the broadcast was left out. After this, Ripley left the ring, and in the unaired broadcast, it's shown that Dominik pursued her up the stage as he tried and failed to calm her down, infuriating her instead.